Overheard a quote I think a day ago that I've heard before, but never really like absorbed it as much as I should have. An armed society is a polite society, and that made me think. I've lived in Georgia. I've visited all throughout the United States and other countries. I've always noticed that in places like Paris and Chicago and New York and LA, people are pretty fucking rude. And whenever you do a ranking of the nicest and rudest, those same cities are always at the top. You know where the niceness is? The towns and cities in Georgia, Florida, Tennessee. These people, they say hi, good morning to random strangers. They speak to you. And besides population density, the only other difference is the how armed the citizens are. When criminals are the only one armed, they it's an indecent society. They get to act and behave how they feel. Moral squalor is even worn as a badge in like the boroughs of New York City, right? People really look up to like not respecting your elders and being polite. They look up to that shit. You tell her, you hear the conversations. You talk to the people like, no, they gotta earn my respect as an elder, whereas elders should have your respect, right? And in armed societies where there's a level playing field amongst the police, the citizens, and the criminals, even the criminals, the thugs, they're polite. They'll say good morning to you. It's crazy. In Georgia, a thug will say good morning to you, bro. In New York City, you can't go to a club without witnessing a man evil eyeing another man. And you go to a club in Georgia, everybody's there to have a good time. Both criminals are probably armed, but then again, the difference is in places like Florida and Georgia, the citizens armed too. So you know what? Let's cut the bullshit and let's just have a good time. New York is like, no, I got the power. I want to fuck shit up, and it just goes to show you how we have programmed ourselves to accept such a uncivilized and low morale. It's romanticized moral squalor, and it's disturbing, man. And people really like yo, you gotta be a survivor in New York. I don't want to be a fucking survivor. I don't want to survive. Fuck you. I want to thrive, bro, at the minimum. Okay? And it's crazy how they program themselves. The government has they have voted in a government that put them in this predicament where now they are really adapting to that environment they've created themselves. You understand? They want to get used to these high mortgages because price control on rent causes it. So they voted in the people that bring the rent up, and then they blame the landlords who just want to get the fucking shits filled and pay off their mortgages. It's insanity. But yeah, I went down a deep rabbit hole in my mind when I started thinking about that one little quote. Just opened up everything in my mind, things I've learned and noticed, and things that we know are factual, that you can look these things up and there's no contesting the facts. And it makes me think, like, why would I want to live in a place where my neighbor isn't armed? Me and my neighbor both aren't armed. Why not? Why would I want to live in a place like that? Because one could be rude than the other. Once the moment one is bigger than the other, one takes quite taekwondo and the other one's never did a push-up in their life, they see the advantage, and you know what? They can be as rude as they want to the other person. You know, people use bravado to get by here, right? Whereas everybody else is just nice to each other. It's like, yo, chill, because they're on a level playing field. There's nobody superior. Crazy, right? One little quote. An armed society is a polite society.